Sahana bhavatu Sahano bhunaktu Saha viryam karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. We can chant this Shanti mantra together now, because since we did it. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatyarma Shanno Indra Buhaspati Shanno Vishnurukramaha. Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Bhavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we were at a section where the teacher has started his teaching. It's called Shikshavalli. First he started with all the Vyakaran and all that. You need good pronunciation. And then he was teaching them different methods of meditation. And he took this sandhi of the two words in Sanskrit as the substratum. And then he's teaching them the different things that are happening in universe, including the entire universe, and then the light, Jyoti, or the luminaries we call in this universe. And now he's taking that same principle and talking about the relationship between teacher and taught. That's where we are, that section. So the verse is Atha Adhividyam Acharya Purva Rupam Antavasi Uttar Rupam Vidya Sandhi Pravachanam Sandhanam Iti Ati Vidyam. That's what it is. Atha means now. So ye khatam ho gaya ab, now. Adi Vidyam, concerning learning. Acharya, the teacher. Purva Rupam is the prior form. Antevasi, the taught or pupil, staying closely. So in Gurukul. So students का नाम change कर दिया यहाँ पे. उसको अंतवासी बोला है क्योंकि वो गुरुकुल में साथ में रहते थे. Because ये सब्जेक्ट इतना गहरा सब्जेक्ट है कि वो टीचर के साथ रहना पड़ता है उसको. Because they have to, एक तो लर्निंग का टाइम होता है, दूसरा रहने का टाइम, मगर उसमें भी वो लर्निंग चालू रहती है. You know, एक दूसरे से they learn, and with the teacher's wife who takes care of them. We know the Gurukul system. Huh? And we know that kids fuss, our own kids fuss with us so much. Na? You can never teach them anything. Somebody else can teach them. Uttar Rupam, the posterior form. So the student is the posterior form. Vidya means learning. It's the Sandhi. Sandhi means joining. So the intermediate form bola usko, but the same thing. Pravachan, the instruction. Sandhanam is the means to connect them. Is the connection, means of joining. Iti, thus, Adi Vidyam, upon learning, means ye Vidya ke bare mein bol rahe hain. Dhyaye, one should meditate upon it. So it's kind of, since we did other 2-3, this is, now you'll understand it easier. So the reason they brought this thing, because the students are familiar with this relationship. पहले यूनिवर्स की बातें की, फिर ज्योति की, और अभी बोला चलो हमारे भी करते हैं आपस की बातें, बिकॉज इसमें भी रिलेशनशिप है, एक डिवाइन रिलेशनशिप है. बिकॉज what is the relationship? And Swamiji is going to say in his commentary that in this atmosphere of learning, the student is kind of surrendering to the teacher, and the teacher has यहाँ वाला जो teacher बोल रहे हैं is the teacher who has experience also. ये कोई ordinary teacher नहीं है यहाँ पर. You saw that Kathopanishad में Yamraj and Nachiketa. Yamraj was already a self-realized person. So the teacher is like that high status, and the student is staying with him, his desire is to get there where he is. And at least in the beginning, have an intellectual appreciation of what he has. And then slowly his hope is to get to where the teacher is. So it is that kind of a divine connection is there between them. And then it's explaining that how the sandhi and sandhan, they call it, the joining is or intermediate form बोला यहाँ पर जहाँ पर connection होता है वो है उनका learning, and the means of instruction is जो जोड़ने की कड़ी. So मैं हिंदी में जो एक, remember I tell you हिंदी में it sounds really good. इसे ज्ञान के संयोजन में आचार्य या गुरु पहला रूप है, साथ रहने वाला शिष्य दूसरा या बात का स्वरूप है, ज्ञान उनके मिलने का स्थान है, और शिक्षण या पढ़ाना उनको जोड़ने वाली कड़ी है. तो दैट इज अ रिलेशनशिप. ये हुआ विषय ज्ञान विषय संयोजन. इसको संयोजन बोला है हिंदी में, कनेक्शन इंग्लिश में बोलेंगे. सो एनी क्वेश्चन ऑन दैट?
Very easy to understand.
Yeah, and very beautiful.
This is much easier than the previous.
Previous one was उसमें थोड़ा imagination वो difficult था.
उससे भी difficult मुझे लगता था मांडुक्य उपनिषद, है ना?
Oh, he's talking about the previous verse.
Previous verse. Oh, I thought.
Oh, Mandukya is very difficult.
Mandukya is very difficult.
The fact that हमने उसको पूरा कर लिया, वो भी एक बहुत बड़ी बात है.
उसके बाद तो थोड़ा आसान लग रहा है सर.
हाँ, Mandukya is very difficult. We started with the most difficult one.
Yeah.
So, any volunteers to read?
I can read.
Yeah.
Now concerning knowledge, the teacher is the prior form, the thought is the posterior form, learning is the intermediate form, and the instruction is the means of joining. Thus, one should meditate upon learning.
Go ahead.
Using the same support for concentration, that is alambanam, here the teacher is advising a new line of thought taken from the familiar field of the student's activity. It is a homely thing for every student and is very easy for him to understand when he is made to contemplate upon himself and his teacher and the relationship that exists between the two. The teacher and the students generally come to meet each other in a vibrant atmosphere of learning or studies, and the cord upon which the students and the teacher are strung together into a united whole is the cementing essence of the deep significance of the discourse given out by the teacher. The teacher invariably talks about the vision of truth that he had gained within himself, and the students are those who want to experience sympathetically the same vision, if not in actual experience, at least for the time being in an intellectual appreciation. Thus, a blissful atmosphere of mental unison is maintained in the halls of learning when the students crowd around the teacher and honestly strive to gather for themselves the knowledge and wisdom from the teacher's mouth.
So he really had a very poetic language.
Yeah.
How I think that if you meditate upon this sandhi, you really appreciate the relationship between the teacher and the taught, right? And here this teacher is, as I said, extremely special. What they're talking about in this, in the Upanishads. And sometimes there are names. Sometimes the names are also not there. That who taught. They did not assert their, what is that called over here in this country? Some right you have.
Oh.
I'm not getting the word. Huh? Copyright. They don't. But still here we know who it's Yagnavalkya, and we saw the names before. But some of the things like Mandukya, it didn't even say who said it to whom, right? Kathopanishad we know. Yeah. But the content is very, very kind of important one and serious subject. But that if that connection is not there between the two, the learning can never happen. That's what it has shown.
Actually, all the Kathopanishad, they are done by the rishis, right? And with the disciple talk.
Kathopanishad was Yamraj and Nachiketa.
Yeah. Cannot compare. But other one.
Other sometimes is one of the rishis and then the students are there. Yes.
This paragraph, this was, and the commentary by Puji Guru Swami Chirmanand Swami, gives me, when I compare this with the modern teaching and the relationship between the teacher and the students,
Rona
is completely different. You are absolutely right. I think every student and as well as some of the modern teachers also have to read this and then see how actually the relation should be.
Yes.
I mean, you just mentioned that learning will not happen
unless
until that unison happens, and that means that many of our children are not learning.
See, sometimes true, but this is what happens. Like if sometimes like one teacher can have so much influence on the child, they will remember the rest of their life. So because of that teacher, I got into this. Or if the relationship is there, they are so happy in the class, they come back all beaming, and they cannot make that relationship. They will say, "Oh, I don't like this class.
And
I don't know. I don't understand anything."
They don't like to study that subject even.
Yeah.
But I just want to give an example. I asked my grandson, when you go to your class, would you say good morning,
No.
teacher? And would your teacher say good morning, children?
Good teacher says
Teacher
it.
will say, but here they don't say good
No.
morning to the teacher.
I told
So
this.
the culture, I was asking that. What is the respect? You need to give respect to your teacher.
That culture is not there,
The culture
unfortunately.
is not there. So the culture is not there, and the respect is not there. The person is teaching, you are learning.
It's a business. It's a business.
Yeah, it's a business. So in that context,
Absolutely. In fact, I was telling when I was in 10th grade, I don't know what context, I told them, I said, you guys probably don't even relate to this, but when I was going in school, the moment the teacher came, everybody stood up. Good morning, ma'am. Do you remember that? Good morning, sir. Student said it. Oh, yes. And we became totally quiet, and then we sat down like a mouse. We won't say one word. यहाँ पर तो वो लोग बात कर रहे हैं, ये कर रहे हैं, and the teacher has to, hello everybody, how was your weekend? That's how you have to start.
Right.
I mean, you are a college professor, so you know.
We are the perfect.
It is a sad situation. I mean, to me, it is a sad situation.
Because I think that culturally, if we know, we respect the teacher, we'll definitely learn more. No doubt. Because if that person is in that position, obviously he knows more than you. That's why he's there, right? But if you have this attitude or this, ये तो ऐसा ही है, वैसा है, कुछ नहीं समझ में आएगा.
वो कल्चर नहीं है. जैसे कि बड़ों को हम लोगों के कल्चर में इनबॉर्न है कि बड़ों की रिस्पेक्ट. They don't have that even towards their parents or their their teachers, their uncles, their aunts, their बड़े
सभी बराबर ही समझते हैं.
उनको वो बॉब और मेरी बुलाते हैं. उनको हम लोग जैसे इंडिया में सोच नहीं सकते अगर वो हमारे फादर की एज के हैं तो उसको नाम से पुकारेंगे. लाइक दैट. So
यहाँ पर तो पूरी दुनिया हमारी अंकल आंटी बन जाती है ना. इंडिया में कोई भी जरा सा भी होल्डर हो तो उसको अंकल आंटी बोलते हैं.
बिल्कुल. आप बाजार में भी निकल गए तो वो कहेंगे आंटी ये देख लो, आंटी ये देख. They won't I think that's there's
some sweetness in the culture.
कि वो थोड़ी रिस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं आपको.
अभी इंडिया में भी चीज है. अभी इसी वीकेंड पर हमारे यहाँ इंडिया से मेहमान आए. actually they were our children. तो वो आए ना, तो हमारा लड़का भी सिखाया हमने सबको अंकल आंटी बोलना। तो मेरा बड़ा वाला लड़का उसने बोल दिया थैंक हेलो आंटी like that, and glad to see in our house. Say, you can call me Ruby.
You can.
उसका नाम रूबी था। जैसे you can call me Ruby. कम से कम सिस्टर ही बोल देती, right?
Yeah, I know.
सिस्टर ही बोल देती या कुछ भी friend, you can call me Ruby.
Yeah, it's a lot of influence on the West.
उसको आंटी बोल रहे और वो इंडिया क्या you can call me Ruby. What is the culture right now left there? ठीक है, तो young है, इतनी ज़्यादा बुढ़ी नहीं है, but still.
Just in a group of people that has it, but not everybody. There's still a lot of respect is there, still there. If you go to places, there are both kinds of things you can find probably. But our, Vedic culture, it's telling you,
It is excellent.
Yeah.
It is excellent, yes.
Yeah.
It is excellent.
So, any other comment or question about this, whatever we did today, between the two?
I just have wanted, just
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
to do with anything.
Yeah.
Upanishad, you decided to do your very first one, and I wasn't part of it, and then you did. Why did you choose the sequence, or how did you choose the sequence?
It was a little bit selfish reason. Because when I came to over here, I always wanted to learn myself, and I said if there's a group of people, it'll be easier. And Mandukya, I had heard it was very difficult, and there were only 3 people in the beginning, remember? So I asked them, I said, I always wanted to learn Mandukya, should we take on that? They said, yeah, let's do it. That's how it started.
Okay.
And then the reason I did Kathopanishad, because Bhagavad Gita is lot of verses from Kathopanishad, Bhagwan ne wahan se leke isme dala hai. Same hai, almost.
Yes.
Word verbatim be same hai, 80%
We were
of it.
running parallel.
And they were running parallel. I remember that
Yeah.
since
So
I started.
what happened and how I got to Bhagavad Gita was that we started with Mandukya, right? So Mandukya was so difficult. You joined in somewhere in the middle, I
I
remember.
know, I was almost in the beginning.
Beginning?
Huh.
So you
Beginning.
saw that how I
Yeah.
started bringing Bhagavad Gita in it because Bhagavad Gita was easier to explain. So I would explain the concept. Bhagavad Gita mein aisa bola hai, waisa bola hai. Then one of you asked me, they said, hey, why don't you start a Bhagavad Gita class? So I said, yeah, that's my favorite anyway.
First we were only Upanishad.
Yeah,
class. I
only
remember.
Upanishad was
We were only sitting there.
So that's
and-
what the history is. Upanishad
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
first.
so then Bhagavad Gita became primary, but I did not want to give up the study of Upanishads
Huh.
because when we are in a group,
Yes.
it is easier.
Yeah.
With interactions, and then I know that I have to do this, so I dwell more into it.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know?
that's
Yeah. And as a Balbir teacher, I have to continue my studies. So I have to join one study group. So I consider this my study.
Very
We have to
lucky
keep.
for us.
We are
Yeah.
very lucky.
So then everybody started joining, and then we made Bhagavad Gita primary, but we did not give up. That's how the whole thing
That's the
started.
history. Okay.
Yeah, first
Interesting.
it used to be I joined in the beginning.
Yeah.
After Sneh and Manju and Shireen I think was there. And then Kamlaji and Joe, and we used to meet in his clubhouse.
Right.
I remember I was working at that time, and I used to arrange my classes and my meetings and run from campus to attend the class. Then I used to run back.
Yeah.
But we used to have a little potluck afterwards also.
Right. We did a lot more hoopla in those days.
Yeah.
But,
It was more of a connection though. I felt, जैसे आप ये पढ़ के बता रहे हैं, because खाते वक्त भी हम लोग बातें कर रहे हैं,
Right.
question पूछ रहे हैं,
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Then COVID happened. That
Of
changed.
course.
Yeah,
everything.
that's how we went online. But we didn't stop our class. That
Yeah.
was
Which is
amazing.
actually.
And
it was
COVID के
blessing.
बाद में कितने लोगों ने join किया because
Yeah,
people.
because I'm your COVID.
And there's one lady who joins from Houston, unfortunately, because I'm not doing online, so she cannot. But at least we recorded. But Taittriya, I had. It's a very interesting. Each one is interesting. Now that this is the third one. Look at their approach. Subject matter is same.
Yeah.
How they are approaching is in a different manner. यहाँ students के through कर रहे हैं. वहाँ पर वो बच्चे के through किया उन्होंने. नचिकेता के through. You know. And Mandukya is only 12 mantras.
Oh, okay.
But
It took a
you
long
can
time to.
why? Because there is a Karika, there is a Gaudpad ji who was a Shankaracharya ji's guru's guru.
Okay.
He did a commentary on those 12 verses, and there are almost 230 some verses उसको बोलते हैं कारिका. So today's day, anybody who studies Mandukya studies with the karika, because otherwise you miss everything. It's like, okay, I read the 12 mantra, what did I get out of it? Maybe 2%. If you do karika, then you can understand everything. Because it goes in so, it gives a lot of scientific, कितने उन्होंने arguments दिए थे ना.
हाँ, लेकिन उमा जी, you did a fantastic job. मैं ये सोच रही हूँ, उस टाइम हम लोग जितने भी थे ग्रुप में, किसी को जीरो, मतलब हम लोग जीरो के बेस से स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, और आपने इतना डिफिकल्ट उपनिषद से स्टार्ट करा, बट वी ऑल गॉट सो मच आउट ऑफ इट. इतना सीखा हमने उससे, इतना सीखा कि मतलब बता नहीं सकते.
It's Lord Krishna and my Guru Chinmayanand ji.
Now when I think about it,
But
amazing.
for us, if I didn't go through with you Kathopanishad, I won't be able to grasp 5%. I'm telling you.
I think that this was the vision of Chinmayanand ji. I told you, the study group.
Study.
And you know, the person who's a coordinator, मेरा भी बहुत फायदा होता है, and everybody else. And then you actually was teaching your sister. So when you go and tell somebody else, then it's even more, because then it becomes more.
See, I joined because, during COVID, at the beginning, I started reading my Geeta. I didn't used to read it. I had it, but I never read it. And I started reading it, and it also had English translation.
Yeah.
But I'm going through it, and I'm thinking, okay, you're not getting any of this. But I finished it, and I said, this is not working, because you by yourself are not able to grasp the concepts, and it's not until I've joined class here with you, Manjit, that I feel like, oh, well, at least a drop is kind of, it's making
But you
sense.
started, see, that's exactly what Krishna Bhagavan is saying. The fact that you got interested in reading it,
Yes.
that was the first step. So you read it and say, okay, now I got to go more deep into it. And now, once you finish this, my vision is to start from first
Yes,
first
me
again.
too. I'm hoping that I.
Because that's when you start getting more and more.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
Second round, third round. I mean,
Yeah.
किसी ने तो बोला जब तक 18 बार नहीं पढ़ो ना, तब तक गीता पढ़ी नहीं है.
बिल्कुल ठीक है.
I
But the more time you read, more you get more interesting.
Yeah.
And you enjoy more. That's what it is.
And even all these serials that we are talking about, Ramayana and Mahabharata, you can see it 100 times.
हाँ.
You will still love it.
बिल्कुल.
पता नहीं क्या है उस कहानी में, हमको पूरी कहानी मालूम है.
Because it's
कोई सुनाए, कोई देखे.
मैं तो आज भी दिवाली के दिन वो लास्ट वाला रामायण का जो एपिसोड है ना, मुझे राज
See?
तिलक हो रहा है. I run it again
Yes.
in my house, and I must
There is a beauty. It's like a sunrise or sunset. Do we ever get bored of it?
No.
Never.
Same
Every
thing.
time it looks new. It's the same with the scriptures also. Because it's not like a novel या कोई movie देख लिया, एक बार देख लिया, अरे ये तो मैंने देखी हुई है. Why do I? You will never feel like that with this.
Maybe because.
And our teacher used to tell कि, when I'm doing this class with you, I'm getting more out of it. I feel so much. You guys keep saying, I think that I want to thank each one of you, because of you, I study more and I get more. And I say, wow, Krishna Bhagavan is saying this, Krishna Bhagavan is saying this,
In the beginning, I remember we used to be very questioning also. ये कैसे, remember?
And those are normal things. I mean, I'm kind of used to it.
And now
Because I was in your position before. But when I joined, I said, ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? But our teacher was very patient.
You were extremely patient.
So, but the way Chinmayan, that's why I like his commentary. His commentary is also very practical. And the Nikhilanand that I bring in, he is even super more.
I think
He brings you ekdam in the worldly dunya mein, okay, this is how it is. And then now I see it.
हमारे level पे.
Yeah.
I've heard him like.
Sometimes it is difficult to, for me, difficult to understand Chinmayanand.
Because Chinmayanand is also a little bit hi-fi.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Easy to understand.
In the beginning, I was like, when I first went to the study group, I came out and I said, can I do this or not? Because मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. Then my other people who were there for a long time, I still remember Poonam Malhotra and other people, they are good friends of mine. Because now I have a relationship for almost 30 years with them. But when I joined, they had already been 5-10 years in it. So they were like, don't worry, just keep coming. Don't get scared. Because like you said, this language is also not that easy. you know. And others were reading it and explaining, and मैं एकदम डर के बैठी हुई थी कि मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, you know.
It's
But
incentive.
But if you keep at it, you will get used to it.
Used to.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Anyway, any other comment, question? We can finish early today. But this was, I don't want to go too much, you know. Yeah. But, everybody okay? All right, so I'll close it. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.